Pregame.com.
Saturday NBA action. We've got the Orlando Magic at the Philadelphia 76ers. He's Vegas Runner. I'm Marco D'Angelo. VR, the Orlando Magic, the magic might be, is Van Gundy going to disappear at the end of the season? Is Dwight Howard going to stay? You know, I mean, this team just, can we just like shut up and get to the end of the season?
One of them has to go, that's for sure. You know what I mean? It's rolled out into the press, and now it's just more drama than it's actually worth. If you're winning championships, you may put up with it, like LA put up with the Kobe and Shaq drama. But when you're not even winning championships and all you're dealing with is the drama, I don't think it's going to last.
These games, we're taping on Thursday, guys, and this game is being played on Saturday. Orlando does play on Thursday night, so they've got one game before Saturday, whereas the Sixers, they're going to be coming in well rested. They haven't played since Wednesday, so they'll be sitting there waiting for the Orlando Magic on Saturday. And Philly's going to be in an angry mood because they got drilled. Toronto come in and played them Wednesday night and beat them 99-78 in Philly. And I thought Philly was going to have, a sluggish game because they were coming off the night before a war against Miami and coming back home. You could see them being, not focused on Toronto. But not 99-78.
They were never in the game after the first couple minutes.
Yeah, so this is, definitely, you're going to see Philadelphia coming out with their best effort. What do you make of this Philadelphia team right now? You're the old Philly boy.
I'll tell you what, I was so excited the way the season started. And I had backed Philly a lot, and I thought they were a good bet this year early on, especially in this season's condensed NBA schedule, because of the fact this is a team that's played together. Even though they're young, these same pieces have now been together for, 2 years or so. So they had an advantage going in. So I wasn't surprised they got hot. I'm more surprised at how cold they've gotten lately. After the All-Star break, it's like someone just turned the switch off. And this team they've lost to Washington in the last week. I mean, they've had some really bad losses. And I could understand, losing to Miami, even without Wade. But losing to Washington, losing at home to Toronto, there's a problem there. With that said, I'll tell you what, this Philly team, Boston's now gotten past them. They're only 1.5 games ahead of Philly, so they really have something to play for. I think you're going to get a good effort out of Philly.
No question. Off of that kind of an embarrassing loss and being able to sit around for a few days and brew over it, they're going to come out with their best effort. The thing that everybody has pointed out on Philadelphia is that when they did get off to that hot start at the beginning of the season, it was great. The schedule maker was avoiding them playing the elite teams in the NBA. So then when they had that stretch where they played the elite teams, then they came back to earth. But now the problem is, like you said, we can excuse when they step way up in class, but there is no excuse for when you lose to the Washingtons and Toronto. So there's some problems in Philly, but I think there's even more problems in Orlando.
For sure.
This Orlando team, going into tonight's game, we're taping on Thursday. They're playing tonight against the Knicks. They've got a 4-game losing streak going, Orlando. And it's crazy that they're losing now because the distraction all year was coming up to the trade deadline. Is Dwight Howard coming, go and stay? And what's the deal with Dwight Howard? And when the trade deadline came and went, and he stayed in Orlando, they went on a little bit of a spurt.
Yeah.
But now it's like it won't go away because he won't commit beyond this year. He's just, he's not talking. They're trying to get him to commit. They're throwing the franchise at him. They're saying, if you want Van Gundy gone, you can go.
Yeah, you call the shots.
And that's bad because it's almost like having a lame duck coach that he's losing. It appears that he's losing this team right now. And the thing that concerns me on this game with Orlando is one of the strengths of Orlando. We know their offense has been bad at times this year. I mean, they've had some games where they scored 59, 60 points this year, but you could always count on their defense.
Yeah. 4th in the league in points allowed.
Well, they going into tonight's game against New York, 5 straight games they have allowed 100 points or more. And the previous 9 games to that, like whenever they were playing better before all this latest drama started, they had held 8 of 9 opponents under 100. So that's a big indicator. And to me, I've always said it takes more effort to play defense than it does to play offense. And I got a question right now. To me, that's a sign the Van Gundy's losing this team, and they're not trying.
And you got to look at the motivation right now. Here's a team that not long ago was just a couple games behind the Miami Heat, their in-state rival. I mean, they were within distance of Miami. Now all of a sudden, they look up at the the schedule and they see they're 7.5 games behind. You're not going to catch Miami at this point. So where's the motivation? You know you're going to make the playoffs. You're having all this turmoil internally, so you don't look like a championship caliber team. You know, here's a team that has the makings of someone that's going to quit on me. And now they got to go into Philadelphia, who they more or less destroyed back in February when they hit 15 three-pointers and shot 53% from the field, and they beat them by, almost 20 points. You're not going to go into Philly and shoot that well. Not against a team like Philadelphia. Number 1 defense in points allowed. Number 2 in field goal percentage allowed. Number 3 in three-point field goal percentage allowed. So that was an off night for the Philly defense. You were right on you hit it right on the head when you said, here's a pissed off team that's going to be sitting there waiting for you for a couple days. That defense is going to come out. I have to agree with you, Marco. I think this is a great spot for Philly, and I think the line is going to be high enough where Orlando is going to look like a good dog to a lot of bettors.
Right. I mean, because the average bettor is going to look at the last game and see that Philly was an 8.5-point favorite to Toronto and got drilled, and now they're going to be a smaller favorite to Orlando. If they can't beat
Jameer
Toronto.
Nelson's back in the mix, and Dwight Howard's back playing, so now they're going to look at it like here's a healthy Orlando team as well.
I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I'm going to lay the points. I've got, Philly winning this game. I got them winning by double digits.
I agree.
I know Philly's not a team that's generally a big margin club, but, again, they play such good defense, and they play great defense off a loss. They play good defense all the time, but I'm going to give you a stat that's going to blow your mind. This season, Philadelphia, following a loss, the game immediately after a loss, they're 18-6 to the under.
Wow. And I was just thinking, if I don't think Orlando breaks 80. I really don't. I would bet the under on them and not scoring 80 points. I really don't think they get 80 on
this team just, whenever they lose, they're focused, and as good as their defense is, it's better coming off a loss.
That's a bad sign for a team that can't score.
Exactly. And if Orlando's not giving that 100% effort, like I said, how they've had that string of giving up 100 points, this is going to be a long night. I'm going to go ahead and make Philadelphia my video. It's the video best bet of the week for me. Every week when we give the video best bet, we also give you a coupon. This one, we're taking the Sixers, so we're going to use Sixers, spell it out, the Sixers, put the S on the end of it, and the number 10, and that's going to get you $10 off when you go to the checkout. Just enter that in the coupon code. You'll get $10 off whatever you buy. You can hook up with VR, me, anybody on the site, and if it happens to only be $10,
it's free. I thought you were going to choose Manute Bol 10 since he was a Sixer. You know that I saw him at a strip bar in Philly back in the day? That's another video altogether.
He had to stand up.
Yeah, that's how I noticed him. And I've seen him at AC too, Manute Bol.
Did they use him for the pole when were they dancing?
Pretty much.
All right. I don't know how else we could close this video after that one. He's Vegas Runner. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We're going to be back. We're going to look at a game on Sunday, Chicago and the New York Knicks. I don't know, maybe VR knows some guys at strip clubs in those two cities.
No, this was Delilah's Den in Philly.
So that's it. Check everything out at pregame.tv. All your video coverage all week long here from all of the cappers here at Pregame.